Hey, it works now, and I get a microphone and everything. I get a microphone, I get a screen. Okay, so are you all here for Salesforce Into the Metaverse? Okay, great. You're at the right place. Or by the end of this session, you might think you're in the wrong place. So it looks like I've got till 45, and I'm going to try to leave some question and answer space, but you can ask questions during the presentation if you want to. So how many of you out there have already experimented in the metaverse? Anybody? Anybody have a wallet? Anybody install a wallet? Okay. How about, do any of your kids play Roblox or Minecraft? Or, okay. So the metaverse means many things to many people. By the way, hi, I'm Charlie Isaccs, and I'm CTO for Customer Connection at Salesforce, which means a lot of things. And my title was given to me way back when we started into Internet of Things. And we didn't call it Internet of Things, we called it Internet of, anybody remember? Trivia question. Customers. Mark Benioff named it Internet of Customers. But now I focus a lot on IoT still, but I also focus a lot on emerging technologies. And guess what is emerging right now for Salesforce? The metaverse, right? So I was assigned to a metaverse project late last August, I think, and I started dabbling in it. So I'm relatively new to the metaverse, and I never got into gaming. I'm not a gamer. How many gamers are out there? Any gamers out there? Okay, you play games. You have an advantage over me because I never really played a game online. I mean, I've tried. I used to play Frogger. Is that dating me? No, they still have Frogger, right? They have. Yeah. Okay. So when I started off with Internet of Customers, we had this thing called IoT Cloud, and we transitioned away from that. And now we have a new strategy on that. But that's a separate presentation. And I'm glad if you want to take me offline and ask what our strategy is on IoT. We have more IoT customers now than we ever had. And it's a growing area. And I'm swamped. And I'm delegating a lot of that to other people within the company. And if there are partners in the room, I'm sure you're dabbling in IoT. Because during the pandemic, that became a very big thing, right? Everybody wanted to do remote patient care. Everybody wanted to do remote control of their devices. And if you're a company and you have a physical product, you're going to want to connect that to Salesforce because you already have Salesforce Sales Cloud and Service Cloud and maybe Marketing Cloud, which are low-hanging fruit for IoT integrations. And why is that? Because you don't want someone to pick up the phone and say, my widget is broken. You want the widget to phone home and say, I'm broken, and you want it to have all the information. So IoT aside, let's move into the metaverse. So, and by the way, the IoT and metaverse go hand in hand, and you'll see why I'm saying that. And I think IoT has a huge part, plays a huge part in the metaverse, because I'm going to throw another term out there. Who here has heard the term digital twin? Anybody heard that? Okay, a few people have. Digital twins are part of the metaverse. Okay, so thank you to our sponsors. Hopefully this will please work. I'll do it this way. There we go, that'll work. Let's see if this will go forward. Nope. Okay, well anyway, it was a good try. You know what I could do? Forget it. I'll run back and forth because I like running. I need my exercise. So who here participated in Cloud 1? All of you. Who here participated in Cloud 2? All of you. So Cloud 1 was about your desktop, and we introduced SaaS, software as a service, right? Everything in the cloud. And then for Cloud 2, we introduced mobile and social. And that included things like platform as a service and infrastructure as a service. But now in Cloud 3, we're introducing the future of marketing, because what went away recently here, and who drove that? You and the European folks drove something that caused our marketing people extreme headaches. Anybody know what that is? Yeah, GDPR, and you can't save cookies. And so cookies went away, right? So, but for Cloud 3, I'm going to show you how Cloud 3 is going to help us into the future with what a new cookie is, okay? And you're going to hear the term NFTs. You're going to hear, everybody's heard the term blockchain now, right? And we're going to talk about the metaverse. But this is what Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3 really are. Web 1 was Google and Yahoo. Web 2 is interactive platforms, social platforms. But the problems with Web 2 are that everything is siloed, right? When I go to Facebook, and this is a good thing in some cases, Facebook knows nothing about who I am when I go to Twitter, right? So I don't carry my information forward to Twitter. They're complete silos. But when I go to Web 3, it becomes read, write, and own, okay? I own all my data. And now you can see a cookie concept coming in where I own my data, I own something called a wallet, and the wallet becomes your cookie. So read, write, own. That's how I distinguish Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. And what does own mean? Okay, so let's get into NFTs. I have a slide strictly on NFTs. But who here has heard of NFTs, non-fungible tokens? Okay. So an NFT is an image or a sound file or even a blog entry or something that someone composed, right? An artist built a really pretty picture or a painting that they want to digitally represent, and they want to take ownership of it in the internet. So when I go to an art dealer and I say, hey, I painted this beautiful painting, will you help me sell it? They're going to take a percentage of that, right? When I'm a musician, where do I go? I go to a recording studio and I record my music. The problem is I have to give away a large portion of my proceeds or even a small sum to a recording studio to be able to publish my works and get remuneration for them. The idea behind Web 3 is that I build something and I can mint it and put it on the blockchain, and then I could assign royalties to it. I could just completely sell it and let somebody have it. I can build 50 copies of it and only issue 50 copies of it, or I can allow people to sell it, and then I get royalties every time they sell it. So there are different models associated with, quote, NFTs. And that's why it says own, because I own that asset unless I completely transfer it to someone else, and I don't retain ownership of that. So I have a complete option over what happens to my property. So who here has heard of cryptocurrency? Guess what? Everybody's heard of it. It crashed, right? It goes up and down, and there are different types of cryptocurrency, and most of the cryptocurrency now is non-sustainable, polluting cryptocurrency. And I'm going to show you where Salesforce is, and this is about Salesforce in the Metaverse, so I'm going to get to this eventually and show you what we're doing there. But you can go to, I chose Coinbase as my cryptocurrency partner because I trusted them, and they're managing all my keys for me. These are all decentralized exchanges that will manage your transactions. In the olden days, when I first bought Bitcoin, I don't remember how many years ago it was, I had to write down all my keys on a piece of paper and hide them somewhere. Now I can go to Coinbase, and they manage all my money keys for me, and I don't have to worry about any of that. So it's a digital unit of account stored on a blockchain and registered to me, and it's registered in a wallet, okay? So I have a concept of a wallet. I think I have a slide on wallets. Where's my wallet slide? There's a wallet. So a wallet is, they have custodial wallets and non-custodial wallets. And I apologize for the formatting on the slides. When I imported everything into the London's Calling presentation template, I messed everything up. And I thought I fixed it, but maybe not. Okay, so I use MetaMask as my wallet. So you can sign up right now. You can get MetaMask on your mobile phone, or you can get MetaMask on your Chrome plugin. There's a Chrome plugin for MetaMask. You can also do that with Coinbase or any of these others we have listed here. And they will help you store your cryptocurrency. Now, I can also store my NFTs in my wallet. I can store any digital possession that goes onto a blockchain in my wallet. Now, I might have several wallets. I might have a personal wallet, I might have a business wallet, and I might have different wallets over different vendors, which I do, because I experiment a lot. And like I have a development wallet that I use because I don't want to put any money in it because I might inadvertently have my application send money somewhere and never see it again, which has happened to me, by the way. You only do that once, especially if it's a large sum of money. You only make that mistake once, and then you try not to make it ever again. And by the way, there are lots of issues, and I'm going to don't worry, everybody's wondering about all the negative things they've heard about cryptocurrency and Web3. I'm going to get into all those. But the bottom line here is you have a wallet, and you can have multiple wallets. And remember I was saying that the wallet becomes the new cookie? I can go in, and I'm going to show you a demo of this, of what I built integrated into Salesforce. Who knows what happens when I go to a company's website, and I'm interested in a product there? Well, I can browse around, and now with the cookieless situation we have, I can say, I don't want to accept any cookies. I don't want anybody to know who I am. I can surf around, and nobody will know who I am, especially if I go into anonymous mode, right? But when I want to get information from that company, what do? I have to go to a form, fill it out, and give them my information, and I get that information back. What does that do? Well, hopefully it creates a lead in Salesforce, right? So when it creates a lead in Salesforce, and then you actually buy something, or if you get more interested, maybe they turn you into a prospect, and you become an opportunity, and you become an account and a contact, and blah, blah, blah. I'm throwing out all the Salesforce nomenclature that you know and love, right? Okay, now map that into the Web3 world. And then this is going to map into what Salesforce is going to be doing in the Web3 world. So if I who here has heard of a metaverse called Decentraland? Anybody heard of Decentraland? There's a metaverse where you can buy land. You can pay anywhere between, I think the minimum price was like $100, but for a parcel of land, at one point, like early this year, you could buy a single parcel of land in a remote area for like $11,000 for one single parcel of land. And that's dropped down to about, I think the current day rate on a Decentraland transaction is like $3,000 or something. And it's all in Ethereum, by the way, which is one of the cryptocurrencies, right? Well, actually, they use Ethereum to buy the land, and then they have their own, like Decentraland and the Sandbox, they have their own cryptocurrencies that they've developed for those metaverses. So Decentraland has something called Mana, M-A-N-A, and you can buy that currency, and you can buy, if you want to, you can buy land with that, but they usually need Ethereum too, which is another cryptocurrency. The Sandbox game is another one, which we haven't yet played with at Salesforce because they don't have an API yet. And that's the key. If a metaverse does not have an API at this point, we can't do the things I just described. Because when I would drop into Decentraland, into a piece of land, and I met one of my customers, I don't know, shout out a customer name, that sells cars, right? Okay, so Lucid Motors, right, the new EV company. If I drop into their Decentraland land, I can cruise around their land and look at all their beautiful cars, but they don't know who I am, right? Until I go over and sign a guest book. If I sign a guest book, they'll have my wallet ID, okay? Because I cruise around Decentraland using my wallet. So, but I have to opt in to do that, right? So now I'm cruising around Decentraland, and I have a wallet ID. They have my wallet ID. And now I want to buy, I see a really cool car NFT in that land. And hey, I want that in my collection because that's going to entitle me to get a discount on a Lucid vehicle of 10% when I buy that NFT. So I buy the NFT. How do I buy it? Well, I click on it, and I exchange the money from my wallet. Maybe it's a $10 fee, and it gets converted to crypto. And that's going to take that NFT and put it in attach it to my contact record because it knows who I am because it's got my wallet. It doesn't actually know that I'm Charlie Isaccs, but it has my wallet ID, and it has my money, right? They've charged me money, and I have a contact which relates my wallet ID, and it knows my Decentraland ID, and all that's connected in Salesforce. So now if I pick up the phone and call, I could send them my wallet ID, or I can tell them who I am, and then they can associate my physical name to that wallet ID. And that's how cookies are going to be created. The future of cookies are going to be the wallet. Does that make sense? I'm going to show you a demo of that, of how we built all that in Salesforce. So I talked about a wallet. Let's talk about an NFT. And this is where a lot of logic breaks down. And the reason it breaks down is because an NFT is a file in Web 2, right? And this is where NFTs are extremely criticized by any skeptic. And you'll hear a lot of skeptics. And I'm sure that we have skeptics in the audience right now. So an NFT is a pointer from a blockchain to a URL. And guess where that URL points? It points to someone's server. So what happens if that company hosting that server loses my artwork, right? I'm in trouble. What happens if someone scams me? There's something called Discord, which is a gaming chat application. What happens if someone scams me, like this also happened to me? I learned that lesson once. They sent me a direct message invitation masquerading as Decentraland and said, "Wicked land sale." And I said, "Oh, I'm a landowner. I want to buy land, and I want it to be cheap, so I'm going to buy it." So I blew a few $100 on the scam because I didn't bother to check. I was so excited about getting this message that looked legitimate to me. So there are lots of things out there that are scamming the whole Web3 set of scenarios that need to be overcome in order for this to be a safe place for us to play. Now, who can name any of our Salesforce pillars, right? What are our pillars? I'll throw out one. Innovation, that's one. Okay, what's another one? Trust. There you go. What's another one? Sustainability. Okay, so trust and sustainability are two things that we need to overcome for us to be able to play in this market. And that's what we attempted to do, and I'm going to show you what our release is for our NFT Cloud. But these NFTs right now, as they're operating, it's the wild, wild west out there. There's so many things that can go wrong. And our offering at Salesforce was trying to overcome these severe issues we see. So I talked about what is the metaverse, and this is a marketing slide that I took that talks about, what is the metaverse? Well, it's Fortnite, it's Roblox. Those are centralized. That's Web 2 centralized metaverse. Web 3 metaverse is where we have things called DAOs that are decentralized authorities that are organizations. And when I bought into Decentraland for a few $1,000, yes, believe it or not, I paid a few $1,000 for land in Decentraland. Aren't I a sucker, right? Because it dropped. It might rise, it might not. But guess what? I learned. I wish I could have charged up to the company because I was doing company research, right? I should have put it on my expense report. Could you imagine if Mark Benioff got that expense report? You bought what? Piece of, although he'd probably appreciate it because he's totally into it. If you've seen what Time Magazine's doing, they totally get the NFT and Web3 thing. But anyway, so decentralized is Decentraland, and those are Web3 metaverses, and they are examples of worlds that you operate in where it's like a game, but you conduct business if you want, or you just have fun. And companies are they're already making a lot of money on this. They're making tens of millions of dollars in Decentraland. Like Snoop Dogg is having concerts, and many people showed up to that concert. I think thousands of people showed up to that concert. So my definition of a metaverse, and I found this, I was reciting this practically verbatim, and then I saw an Nvidia press release, which was almost what I was reciting. I said, okay, I must have heard this from Nvidia. Who knows who Nvidia is, right? They make hardware. They are in a mode where their hardware will now support almost real-time or near real-time operations to make the metaverse graphically desirable and useful, okay? And what they're doing is they're creating one-of-a-kind digital scenes, and this is where an architect can build a gorgeous building in the metaverse and have people walk around in that building. They can interact with that building. You can build new products for homes and simulate how they operate. Now, what they didn't say here, and this is where I think the future is for Salesforce and for all of your companies out there, and this might be 2 years from now, or it may be 10 years from now. And I'm usually about 5 years wrong. But in the future, every company is going to simulate their business operations in some kind of a metaverse in order to do what-if scenarios, okay? And this is a no-brainer right now for factories. Has anybody seen where they have factory simulations running, and you move like conveyor belt 1 to conveyor belt 2, and then the robot works on the thing, and then it moves to conveyor belt 3? You can simulate that right now in some of these environments in real time. And then you can say, okay, I'm moving 5 widgets per hour through this factory. Can I move 100 widgets per hour in this factory? And currently, you'd have to like guess or do the math on it and guess some more. Or now you can simulate everything with all the interacting operations in the factory. You can simulate all that and do what-if scenarios in front of your eyes. And that's what Nvidia is doing with their hardware, and they're even giving away free software to do this. So there's some other environments, too, that I've been experimenting with. But let me get into what our NFT Cloud release is first, because I know we're going to run out of time, because I could talk for hours on this subject. Is any of this resonating? Is this making sense? Are we learning it? You probably already do all this stuff, right? Did you know everything I already told you? No. Okay. So we just launched NFT Cloud. And when I first got involved with NFT Cloud, who here has played with Commerce Cloud? Anybody here play with Commerce Cloud? Okay, so we have, what is Commerce Cloud? We have 2 Commerce Clouds, right? We had a B2B, we had a B2C. Now we're going to build a B2B, or I think we've launched it, right? B2B to C. We had Cloud Craze and Demandware, right? But now we're moving, and I hope I'm not airing too much dirty laundry or confidential information, but we've got most of the Demandware functionality moved onto Core now, right? So, and that's what we were waiting for on the NFT Cloud launch, because NFTs, to make it easy for our customers to buy NFTs and to safely buy them and securely buy them, we had to leverage our Commerce Cloud capability on Core to do that. And so, there are the pillars right there, right? Trust, customer success, innovation, equality, and sustainability. And we're hitting, this is not so much innovation, because a lot of people are duplicating NFTs, and we think we're innovating because we're able to do NFT mass production in a pretty creative way, and hopefully you'll see that in a minute. But mainly it's about sustainability and trust. And So for sustainability, this is where we're getting the most. Did anybody see the article in Business Insider that I shouldn't be talking about? Is this being recorded, by the way? It's out there in the public. We had a whole group of employees revolting about all the negative aspects of Web3, right? Including the claims that Bitcoin generates as much, uses as much energy as an entire country, right? And name the country. So it's not sustainable. Ethereum is not sustainable. It's consuming a lot of energy, a lot of power. So we made a decision to launch NFT Cloud for our customers only on, these are all different blockchains that are sustainable: Avalanche, Palm, Solana, Polygon, and Flow. So if a customer comes to us and says, "Oh, we want to launch on Bitcoin," we have to send them somewhere else. So we send them to, they have to do it on their own, or they have to pick another approach. So that's how we're addressing sustainability. There is a patent pending on how we're addressing trust, so I'm not really supposed to drill into it, but think of it as a pixelated view of that NFT. Remember I was telling you, what happens if that server goes away? That company goes out of business? You need to be able to retain ownership of that NFT, even if the back-end server goes away. So we're coming up with creative ways to ensure that JPEG or that piece of artistry, whatever it might be, including music files, don't go away. Okay, so there's NFT Cloud. You can mint, sell, manage. Okay, I didn't talk about minting. You could take a JPEG right now. You can go to OpenSea. That's OpenSea. That's the one I use. And if I gave you my wallet ID, you could see all the customers I've minted JPEGs for free, because you can mint them for free. They don't cost anything to mint. They only charge you money when you transfer them to someone else's wallet. And then there's something called a gas fee, okay? And all this stuff, minting and NFT generation and managing the gas fees and managing the wallets, that's all heavy lifting stuff that we don't want our customers to have to worry about. And we want them to manage on Commerce Cloud. So who here has seen, let me see if I have a picture of an NFT. I'm going to go back to that, because I'm going to run out of time here. So let's pretend this car picture here, and you can read the slide as I do it. That car picture on the right-hand side is a NFT. It's an NFT of a Mercedes vehicle. If I'm Mercedes, I'm not going to mint just one white, boring-looking Mercedes vehicle. I'm going to do combinations and permutations on that vehicle. I'm going to make a white one, a blue one, a silver one, all their special Mercedes colors, and I'm going to publish that to my commerce site to make those available to buy. Because maybe I will give them, like I mentioned earlier, a discount on that vehicle in the metaverse and in the real world. So doing the combinations and permutations on that and storing those into Commerce Cloud in the product catalog and managing those iterations. Those of you who play with Commerce Cloud, you know we have attributes, right? And you can vary the product attributes in the physical world. So why not be able to do that in the virtual world? So, and guess what? Why not be able to sell that same representation, that virtual representation of the NFT, that same vehicle that they love, that they're cherishing and they're striving to purchase one day, right? They've got that stored in their wallet, and they look at it every day, and they love that Mercedes. Then one day they're going to go and push the button and spend the $150,000 for that Mercedes, right? Instead of just having that $100 NFT that has all their combinations and permutations of the internal upholstery and all the options, right? That's all stored on their NFT. And all they have to do is push a button and then have it minted in the factory, right? So it gets produced. and then they get it delivered to their doorstep. So think about that, converting NFTs from virtual to physical, and think about that for any product you build. So let's go back a little bit, and I want to show some demos before I run. How much time am I supposed to have? I'm supposed to end in 5 minutes, right? 45? So 7 minutes. Okay, so I talked about the cookies. I talked about the knowledge graph. And I'm going to show you here's the video we did. Was anybody here at Trailblazer DX? Okay, you probably didn't get to this booth. This was our Commerce Cloud booth showing oh, it's not showing up. How come it's not showing up? Yikes. Why is that not showing? That's weird. Do I have to drag it to another window? Oh, there it goes. Oh, that's going to be awkward. I didn't collect the windows. Okay. Well, so I'll just talk as this plays, but in the background, oh man, I'm not going to even be able to maximize that. I'll just describe the video. And you know what? These links are in the slide deck, so I don't really have time to. What happens if I exit out of here? Will that get it to me? I don't even know how to get the windows back. Now it's up running on my other screen. Maybe if I disconnect it. Yikes. Okay, so what you would see in that booth is a representation of doing combinations and permutations on a vehicle. It's still on the wrong screen. Oh, here we go. Let me see if I can move it over this way. There we go. Oh, now that it's stuck on that screen. Oh, man. Okay, well, I'm going to have to go through here and do this, and then just carry on in this way. Anybody see where my slide slow sheet? I can't see it. Oh, here we go. Look over here. Here we go. Okay, forget that. Okay, here we go. This is what you would see in the immersive booth demo that we gave. You're wearing an Oculus Quest and with the hand controls. And you see the vehicle there, it's on the showroom floor. And I'm actually configuring the vehicle on the showroom floor, changing the colors. And, well, that's really boring. Anybody could build that, right? Anybody could do that. Where does Salesforce play in this? And this is the important part. I think NFTs are cool and everything, and our customers are asking for it, and that's why we're doing it. But this is a true value proposition for Salesforce, is building the integration between the virtual world and Salesforce. Just like I described Decentraland, when you go in, you hop into a land and you create the lead, you convert it to a sale, and then you even service and support them from Decentraland. Well, in this case, I'm configuring the vehicle, and in the booth there, we're pushing the messages to the commerce site in real time, and we're using visual remote assistance to help the person in the Oculus Quest environment support them in the purchase of that vehicle. So we're using Salesforce functionality to help that customer buy that product, and then also service and support that customer once they buy it. So the other thing we were doing in real time was pushing Slack messages down. So we built MuleSoft adapters for every important piece of functionality. And this is called the Unity environment, which is a virtual reality environment that you can use to build games and virtual reality environments. This Unity environment has an integration into MuleSoft, and so does Decentraland. So any metaverse that has an API connector can connect into MuleSoft or connect directly into an Apex endpoint, which is what I've been doing in my spare time, is building these Apex endpoints and MuleSoft adapters for these metaverse implementations. So the other ones that I'm going to put in, I'll make these available to you to view. I've got a building. Let's see how much time. I got 3 minutes. I've got a building in AutoCAD. Who here has seen AutoCAD? It's a CAD/CAM design tool. You can load a Rivet file from a building into AutoCAD and represent, for example, an HVAC unit at the top, an air conditioning unit at the top of the building, and click on it and create an asset in Salesforce. So you can build a representation of that building with all the light fixtures and all the air conditioning units and everything in that building, push them into Salesforce. Well, what does that do for you? Remember what I was telling you about you should be able to simulate your business operations? Could you imagine if you had that blueprint, just a standard blueprint, pushing all those assets to Salesforce, and then you have a flow tool, which is what I built. I built a flow tool that builds the customer experience for that exact environment. So what would the customer experience be around that? Well, I might have 3 customer experiences for that. Experience number 1 is a sustainability experience. Those light fixtures I just pushed up into Salesforce, use rules in a flow to determine whether or not they're the right light fixtures for that type of building, right? Do the math. Use case number 2, what happens when that HVAC unit fails? What is the series of events that have to happen? What are the workflows that get triggered when that HVAC fails? I should be able to simulate that and create those rules in Salesforce so that when I ship that building, right, or when I'm building that building and I'm showing customers that building and what their experience is going to be, it'll raise the bar on not only selling that building, but servicing and supporting that building for customers. Does that make sense? So I've got adapters into AutoCAD, for example. It's just JavaScript. There are JavaScript sidecars that run on top. It's called Forge, that run on top of Autodesk. And that just pushes that data into Salesforce. I also did that for, let's see, the last one I've got here is for the supply chain. Imagine if you could take that same HVAC system, and now I click on it, and I say, yeah, let's put that one on order now. So it moves it from on order, it creates the order in Salesforce, triggers a workflow to send the notice to the factory to build that unit and put it in, take it from the warehouse and put it on the ship. And then there's a Kanban in this video that I'd love to show you that transfers from warehouse to the ship, and then from the ship to the building. And when the building gets that HVAC unit, they mark it as complete, and it gets installed in the building. So there are really cool things you can do with a digital twin representation of pretty much anything, and that happens to be a building, but use your imagination, a digital representation of any product or any entity and integrating it to Salesforce and leveraging all the power and the tools we have in Salesforce to take advantage of that. Okay, so it's right at time. I'm over 1 minute over. I kind of made it, but I wish I could have shown the videos. But I promise I'll send the links out to the videos. Do I have 1 minute for questions? Or maybe you could ask me questions afterwards. Who's going up next? Is there somebody going up next? I don't see anybody going up next. Oh, keep going, okay. Is anybody coming up next? Or is there anything going on after this? I wish I could collect. If you could ask me questions, or you want me to try to show one of the videos? Because I think my display parameters aren't proper. That's what's happening. Or you can all just leave. And I won't feel bad if you leave. I'm sure it's just display. How come I can't find my display settings? Maybe I should quit while I'm ahead. Oh, this is PowerPoint present. I don't want that. I want these system preferences. That's what I want, displays. I think if I collect the screens, it would work. What does that do? I don't even know what that did. Oh, we have the new one coming in. Let's see if I can just show one video here. What happens when I play that one? It goes to the wrong screen, right? Yeah. Here, I'll just give you an idea for it. I'll just put it over in the other screen. Oh, maybe I won't. I have no idea where it went. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Okay, so that's the building I was talking about. And you can zoom in, you can walk around the building, you can click on the HVAC unit, and that right there, that message says, do you really want to push that asset into Salesforce? And then there's the Kanban. So it moved it into the warehouse now. So that HVAC unit is in the warehouse. And I've got a little IoT device over there that's simulating an RFID scan of that cargo container. So when that cargo container gets scanned, it pushes it into the truck from the ship, and then I push the button again, and that's just feeding platform events into Salesforce, and it's pushing along that HVAC unit from step to step in that Kanban, and then when it gets received at the building, you just mark the unit as received, and then that completes the loop. So that's a simple example of how a digital twin representation can meet the real-world implementations that you will probably be seeing in the next couple of years. Okay, I should be quiet now. Who's coming up next, anyway? Oh, you should come up, because I'm eating into your time. Are you wired up there? Well, thank you for listening. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties.